Remember last season when the Hornets crept up on everybody, including me, when they were, the 4th seed with 48 wins, just like everybody else was in the Eastern Conference? It seems that they are continuing what they started last year, as they're currently 5-1, and they're one of the best defensive teams in the league, and they're a mid-tier offensive team. So it doesn't surprise me that they have the record that they do. And it all starts with Steve Clifford, one of the best coaches in the NBA. And with Clifford, his team does not turn the ball over. They don't foul. They don't give up a lot of offensive rebounds. And as a result, they don't beat themselves. And when you have a team that does not beat themselves, they're going to be in a lot of games. I mean, look at the Brooklyn Nets this season. Their roster is pretty not good, but because they just don't beat themselves, because they actually have a good head coach now, they've been competitive in like a lot of games this season. It's the same thing with the Hornets, except the Hornets are actually an NBA roster. And when we look at these guys, first and foremost, Kemba Walker is elevating himself to one of the better point guards in the NBA. I mean, he was already definitely in the top half, but I think he's creeping up even higher now. 24 points, 49% from the field, 49% from 3. If you've heard me talk about Kemba in the past, I was always like, he's good, but that efficiency could be a little better. He's knocking it out of the park right now. And I'm looking at the Pacers highlights. It's not really complex what Kemba's doing. He's just in the pick and roll a lot. But he's damn good when it comes to his outside shot as well as finishing inside, so it's like, hey, it makes sense. I mean, there were times against the Pacers where, you know, if Jeff Teague was just not able to get around the screen and the big man was not quick enough to recover, straight line drive to the basket, nothing you can do about it. A couple other times, the Pacers had a few miscommunications in terms of, should we switch? What do we do here? And Kemba takes that split second to hit a three-pointer. Not only that, but his ability to just find guys in the open floor or just find them when they get open in the half-court offense is really good as well. Next up is Batum, who he's actually not shooting well from the field. He's shooting sub 40%, which is really bad, so he's got to improve on that one. Although his percentage has never been the best just because he takes those really awkward, like, leaning elbow jumpers. I don't know what the hell those are, but he keeps shooting them. But besides that, Batum's ability to dribble himself as the small forward and make a play as well as grab rebounds has always been his most valuable trait. I think he's like the perfect guy that you can play with a second unit because, I mean, he can dribble the ball. He can make a play. It's really valuable to have that. All we're waiting on for him is just the percentages overall to improve, which I'm sure they will because at the very least, he's going to be more respectable from 3. Next, we have MKG and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. It's established, man. When he's in the game, they're just better. Like, is he going to be a great outside shooter? Probably not. It seems the extremely small 7-game sample size of last season has been debunked because he's not really shooting threes at all. Maybe he's going to slowly work it back from the injury, I don't know. But regardless, he's a very smart offensive player who knows when to pick his spots. He finishes very well inside. He doesn't take bad shots. And I've actually seen a couple plays where they're getting it to him in the post, which is interesting. Maybe that could be his way to really get his own shot off. Maybe he's never going to be a three-point shooter, but if he can score in the post, I mean, maybe. Marvin Williams, who stepped up and became baby Draymond last year, his three-pointer has been alright. It's at 34% right now. He's also not shooting well from the field. I have to assume these things are going to improve for them. But still, when we look at the spacing that they got last season from Kemba driving inside and then being able to kick out to Batum, Marvin Williams, you know, wing players who can hit outside shots, it's really valuable. It is. And then I got to talk about Cody Zeller, who might be the most underrated player in the NBA right now. Cody is damn athletic. He's one of the most athletic big men in the NBA, and his ability to roll off of a screen is really damn good. His ability to finish, his ability to dunk on your head, his ability to run up and down in the open floor. He just beats a lot of guys with his hustle and his athleticism. And you notice I'm just talking about offense here. Well, one thing before I really dive into the defense, which is the real reason they're so good. My favorite play in the NBA right now might be the Kemba Walker double screen from Marvin Williams and Cody Zeller. Because when they ran this against the Pacers, it resulted in Cody Zeller scoring at the rim because of a roll, but Marvin Williams was wide open at the top of the key. And he's a good three-point shooter, so it seems like that play is going to result in either Kemba Walker doing something, whether it be pulling up or finishing inside or getting a foul, or Cody Zeller finishing inside, or Marvin Williams being open at the top of the key. So that play is fantastic. Now let's get to defense, which is where they're really killing it. Nick Batum, from a defensive standpoint, is good. I mean, he has the size to be really switchy and all that. His thing is he's always been a little inconsistent, you know? One night he'll look like one of the better defenders in the NBA. Another night he's blowing assignments left and right. So hopefully he can just keep up his consistency when it comes to that. But the other three guys, I mean, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist is one of the best defenders in the NBA. It hasn't been talked about as much because his offense has been almost non-existent depending on which year you want to look at for him. And the Hornets have never been a real popular team, and they haven't been that good outside of, last season. But his defense is awesome. I mean, if you watch that Pacers game, his one-on-one defense with Paul George was really good. And just from a physical standpoint, I mean, he's tall, he's strong, he's athletic, he fits the profile of a really good defender. And his ability to stop 2-on-1 fast breaks is like eerily good too. He's just gifted defensively, man. Marvin Williams, I've been calling him Baby Draymond. His ability to switch on and play help defense, and I mean, he's not going to defend every single guy he gets switched onto, but he can defend a lot of positions. And the tandem of those two being able to switch on a lot of help defense and stuff is really impressive. And then you have Cody Zeller, who defensively is also damn good. So you have three guys, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, Marvin Williams, and Cody Zeller, who are all really damn good when it comes to help defense and moving laterally and switching, and it makes it really damn tough to score on these guys. I mean, is Cody Zeller a great rim protector? Not really, but if you can't get to the basket, then it doesn't really matter. And then it should also be said that once they get the stop on you, they are very liable to go the other way and finish on a fast break because Kemba's damn fast with the ball. But then you also have Batum, who can dribble the ball up court, which has resulted in some Kemba Walker transition three-pointers. But then you got Michael Kidd-Gilchrist as well as Cody Zeller, who are two of the more athletic guys in the league, being able to sprint up floor. You see where I'm going with this. Now, if we're looking at some of the other guys, I mean, Frank Kaminsky, he's actually putting up 11 points on 46% shooting. My fear with him last season was if he could just hang around in the NBA on both sides of the floor. Based on absolutely zero highlights I've seen from the guy, he seems to be doing okay offensively. So take that for what it's worth, and it's not worth anything. I mean, my opinion, not his numbers. But still, the starting five of these guys I really like. I also like Marco Bellinelli as a shooter, just to add another cog into what Charlotte can do. I think if there's anything they could trade for, it could just be a guy who can get his own shot off the bench, which is kind of what Jeremy Lin was. He was more of a ball handler, he wasn't as much of a scorer, but something like that. Besides that, I am a fan of the Hornets. I like a lot of things with them. Defensively, they're very good. Offensively, they are good enough. And when you have a really good coach in Steve Clifford, it works out.